Hello everyone, and welcome to the review of the KingSong N14 electric scooter. And this should be very interesting for an electric scooter, as it kind of combines everything that is on the market, every technology, everything to this scooter, but it also comes at a great affordable price. So this should be high tech, high performance, everything. So we are going to test all of those claims because the specifications for this scooter look amazing on the paper. Starting right off, I'm going to tell you that this scooter works in two modes. It can be limited to 25 kilometers per hour, so it abides to the European laws, and also it can be unlocked by a hardware simple thing modification that I'm going to include somewhere here, where you can see the initial unboxing of this and initial setup. I'm showing there how to actually unlock the speed limit, and with the speed limit lifted, this will be limited. Note that limited, not unlimited, but it's going to be limited at 40 kilometers per hour, so no longer 25, and that's going to provide you with some serious performance. So at 25 kilometers per hour and even 40 kilometers per hour, KingSong puts a high price on your safety. So this scooter doesn't have one single system of braking on the front wheel, which is drum brakes. It not only has a second brake with a disc on the rear, but it also has electronically anti-blocking regenerative braking system by the motor. So when you touch one of the brake levers, regardless if it's front or rear, you are also going to get braking from the motor first. That's not going to lock the wheel, and it's going to recover some of the energy. Then you also have mechanical brakes, the disc and the drum, so you get triple braking system on this scooter. And all of that stopping power is needed because this scooter has a motor that is capable of a peak power output of 900 watts of power, and it also has a big 26 amp controller, so this has a lot of power when you accelerate or you go uphill. Also, this has a 48 volt battery, it's not a 36 volt battery, and it has 10.4 amp hour capacity. So the range on this scooter, of course riding slowly, can be something like 60 kilometers, and riding faster can be 40 kilometers or something like that. So you get very good range with it also. And because we are talking about KingSong here, KingSong is a brand that puts a lot of effort into developing their products and constantly improves them, and it also listens to customer feedback. They always try to be one step ahead of other producers, so they take attention to details, to components, to everything. For instance, this LED headlamp here that has a lens, this is actually very bright, and it also has a cutoff beam. This is actually so bright that I can feel it warm at this distance, so it's not burning my palm, but I feel it getting hot here. This has 5 watt LED inside. It's not the regular 0.5 watt LED lamp. It also comes with a mandatory white refractor, which is very important to have in some European countries. Actually, there are some laws that even if you have a white LED lamp and if you don't have a white refractor, you can get a fine. This one is mandatory. So they have both of them, but the headlamp is very strong. Then look at this front mudguard here. Beside being full cover of the wheel so it doesn't splash you, they have did an extra thing here. They have mounted a special foam between this metal part here that reinforces the front fork and this mudguard, so the mudguard will not rattle against this, so makes the whole thing very stable and noise proof. Further on in the back, you get an integrated tail lamp, which also works as a brake lamp. It gets brighter and flashes. Also, you have this number plate here. For instance, in some European countries such as Germany or Austria or something like that, you need to register this and put a number here. You can do that, but the idea is not to register this. You also get this nice metal bracket that reinforces the mudguard. I've seen so many electric scooters with mudguards copying another brand. I'm not going to tell you the name right now, but you are going to figure it out, where initially they fixed this only here, and this one was dangling around and was cracking somewhere here. Well, this one comes with a bracket that was later developed for those scooters, initially actually by modders, and then adopted by those companies. So not the case here. KingSong knows that, and they come with a product complete from the beginning. And again, we get mandatory side orange refractors, which again in some countries are mandatory, together with mandatory red refractor. So even if you don't turn on the LED, you are still visible by the cars if they use their headlamps. And goodies still continue. For instance, the folding system, it's very advanced. So you have this hook here. This hook, of course, latches into this, and it has this push button to unlock it. But the idea is having this here, you can actually use this also as a hook for hooking maybe a small plastic bag or a bicycle bag, so it doesn't slide down here. You can put it here and then fix it from the stem, so it gets double usage. Then we get probably the nicest turning lights here integrated. So we have these. They are very bright, seeable in daytime, and you can switch direction right and left. And just like a car, you also have a buzzer, so you don't just ride this and forgot the turn signal on. And it even shows here on the display. And now going to the display is super nice. On my camera here, you are probably not going to see anything, or maybe just something flashing. That doesn't happen in real life. In real life, even in sunshine with some clouds, it's visible. It's pretty visible. It's not the brightest, but you can see everything here. It shows that I have lights turned on, that I'm in eco mode, the percentage of the battery, and so on. The operation of the scooter is very simple. You only have here one single button, and this does everything. So if you hold it press for something like 2 seconds, it turns off or on the scooter. So I'm going to turn it back on. Then if I double press it, it's going to change the work mode. So it has 4 working modes. It has P1, P2, P3, and P4, or call them something like Eco, Drive, and Sport mode. And the P4, it's walk assist mode. The scooter is going to run very, very, very slow. So when you are walking next to it, it's going to help you carry it so you don't actually push it. Also, just giving it one single quick push will turn on or off the LED lamps of the scooter. Pushing it 3 times fast, 1, 2, 3. It's going to change the display here, and it's going to show you the volts of the battery, or 1, 2, 3. It's going to show you the amps that the scooter is using, so you can see how many amps the motor is drawing. Very nice to actually see the real power that goes into the motor. And it also measures the other extras, such as turning on the LED lamp or connecting the Bluetooth, and everything else is registered here, so you can see how many amps you are drawing from the battery. So it has a current sensor, which is not seen on other scooters. And of course you can also see the top speed here and the running speed, together with odometer and other similar stuff. And things get even better from here, because the scooter also has Bluetooth, and the app provides a lot more other stuff and customization. So for instance, you have the dashboard. I'm going to display this on the screen for you to actually see better. And if you look here, you can see the battery level. You can check the temperature, you can see the heading, speed, and of course instant power draw from the scooter. But you have here a lot more things, and you can power this remotely off. You can enable the locking system, so you can actually lock this. So let's lock it, and now it's locked. So let's see what happens if I try to move it around. It beeps, and of course nothing else works on it, so you cannot actually start it. It's just going to beep and not going to turn on the motor. And now I'm going to unlock it. Right. Then you have here option to turn on the LED lamps on or off, of course. Then you get much more advanced things here. So for instance, you have here a full dashboard with the remaining mileage. This is an estimation. You have total mileage, average speed, so a lot of things here. The app is freshly installed, so the statistics are not currently correct, but you get the idea. Then you have here graphics such as speed, consumption, main board temperature. You have here battery temperature, motor temperature, battery life. So this thing is purely amazing, and it gives you graphs. So this is a scooter for geeks. You can see everything here. Very nice to have all of that data here. Only one thing is missing. I don't know if this is possible or not. It doesn't show the cell balancing level, but probably with all that information here, it does have a smart BMS inside. Right, still that's not all, because you can click here on the gear and we get other settings here. So in device info, you have things such as firmware, hardware version, and so on, battery type. Then you have option to change the vehicle password, firmware upgrade, and then you can actually adjust the gear adjustment. So as I told you, the scooter has 4 gears, and you can change them from here, and you can customize each of them and limit the speeds as you like to. As you can see, they are all showing 20 kilometers per hour at maximum, but the idea is that the scooter is now unlocked, so in sport mode it's going to do 40, so these do not correspond with the real settings, and I'm not going to change them because the first gear, second gear, and they are still work as 20 and 25 kilometers per hour limits, with the sport mode being fully unlocked. Then you can also here set the cruise control to enable, disable when it enables or disabled. Then you have this sleep start. Sleep start means that the scooter needs a bit of push to start, otherwise it's not going to start. This has 2 roles. It has a safety role, so for instance, if I do something stupid like this, the scooter is not going to start and hit someone or fall on the asphalt here. So I need to give it a push, so I'm determined that I want to ride it. And also this helps you save a lot of battery, because electric motors take the most power when they are starting and accelerating, and when you are giving it a push by yourself, you are actually saving a lot of battery, so the motor doesn't have to put all the effort in putting all your mass in motion. So that also saves battery and makes it a lot more safer. Further on, you have the electric brake recovery regulation. This is the strength of the electric braking, which you can finally adjust here. Then you also have the accelerator intensity adjustment. So this is how fast and how hard the scooter should accelerate. So putting this to 100 will make the internal controller give you the maximum amps that it can provide. This is going to give you much higher acceleration, more power, but it's going to drain the battery also faster. And you also have the shutdown time adjustment, so when you don't ride this, it's going to turn automatically off. Then you have light settings, and this scooter has RGB LEDs built in the sides, and let me turn them on. So you have several modes here, and I don't know if you can see them on the camera right now. So you have full color flowing water, you have full breathing, full color breathing, then you have monochromatic respiration. And that's not all with the app. You also have other things such as logging your speed, distance, routes. It can connect with something like Google Maps and draw you where you have been and share that and so on, all of that social media stuff. It also have a hub where you can share your rides, you can check other people's rides and so on. So the app is much more complex, but that's the app, that's not the scooter. Today we talk more about the scooter, less about the app. Now I also want to show you the faulting mechanism, which is again very nice, innovative. So here you don't have that mini slider that gets stuck sometimes on some scooters. You have a push button. You have a push button, and look at this. When I'm opening the clasps here, the handlebar is not going to fall because it has another latch here. As you can see, the latch is somehow automated and goes up, and only then it departs. Look at that, it goes in. As you can see here, it slides up, down, and catches on that. And when it's down here in this position, you push this, it has a spring here, and you force that spring, and when you force it, only then it goes like this, and it also has a position here that holds it like that, so you can actually fold this with just one hand. which is amazing, and it goes in like that, and now it's folded, and this is not offset, it not goes into one part, it's just centered, so you can carry this with you very easy. To unlock it here, you press the button and it unlocks very easy, it stays there, and then with just one hand you can put this, it catches, and then you put the clamp back, and that's it, it's secured. Simple, yet very nice and effective. And now it's time to actually ride it. To assess the performance better of the scooter, keep in mind that I weigh around 100 kilograms and my backpack today is a bit heavy, so it has about 5 kilograms. So that is to be taken into account when I tell you about how this thing accelerates, how well it goes uphill, downhill, how good the brakes are, and so on. Right, so let's power this on. I'm going to tell you some of the readings from time to time because probably on the camera they are not going to show up, but there's nothing to do about that. That's how digital camera works these days. So I'm going to start with the P1 mode, Eco mode, normal mode. This gives you best range, so I'm going to give it a push, and pretty nice smooth acceleration, very silent running. You mostly hear the tires on the asphalt. The motor has minimum humming noise, and I already probably doing 20 kilometers per hour. Let me switch the display. So yes, now I can see the speed here. No, that's the amps. So in eco mode, I'm only drawing about 16 amps from the 26 amps. Oh, pretty good. This is definitely going to save up battery. And let's see if I change it to sport just for a test. If I give it full throttle, yes, I'm drawing about 20 amps now, not 26, because I have not set the accelerator, the throttle from the app to be at maximum. So definitely that setting works, keeps the scooter a bit more tempered, and gives you more range in turn for that. And now let's go back to the eco mode that I was starting the test on. As you can see, it gets to the speed, so now I'm going to switch also to the speed indication. So I'm doing in eco mode 20 kilometers per hour, and now we are going to reach a ramp, very steep one, and let's see if it's going to go up, and it's using more amps, and it made it up. You also have here a dynamic indicator, which is very nice. It colors with bars, and it has a red bar on the top. This is the instant power draw, just like on a car where you have a fuel trip computer that shows you instant fuel consumption. This shows you how much current you are putting, but that's related to the mode that you are in. Oh, pretty interesting, all that information. Also, the scooter feels really nice and stable, although it has a very tall handlebar, a very long stem. It feels somehow relaxed, and the deck is wide enough that you can even put both your feet in parallel. I never ride scooters that way, but if you do and you don't have very big feet, you can actually put both of your legs one next to the other. Oh, pretty good. And the suspension on this scooter, it's absolutely brilliant. Of course, I didn't do any kind of off-road for the suspension. We are going to test that more thoroughly a bit later. But for now, the suspension works really nice. It works as it should. It's not just having some springs there or something just to go up and down, up and down. It simply is a suspension that works. So pretty good on the suspension side. And I like also the ergonomy. So everything it's here. It's nice. The switches are all in the correct position. You have big brake levers. And talking about the brakes, let's get some proper speed. So enough with the eco stuff already. I'm going to go directly to sport mode. So no more speed limit. And there's the ramp. And Okay, and braking. So if you use both brakes, this thing stops almost instantly. I don't know what that was, but I felt the ABS starting to kick in and it made a tire squeal. But I want to repeat that because I've seen something interesting again. By the way, on sport mode, that ramp is nothing for this scooter. It goes uphill really nice. So when you go downhill and touch the brake, you can actually see the regen on the screen. This one turns into a energy bar. It shows you how much you are recovering. Just like when you are accelerating, now when you are braking, it gets bars as hard as you press the brake lever. Also, what is interesting about the braking system on this scooter is that on the left hand here you have the rear disc brake together with the motor braking ABS, and also on this part here you have the front drum brake that works on the front wheel and also brakes with the motor regen. Also, both brakes are having electric inhibitors, which means that they have sensors built into them, so when you touch the lever, it's going to disengage the motor. So even if I hold the accelerator pressed when I touch the brake, it disconnects the motor, and then also right away it starts to regenerate power, and only then the brake works. So if you just touch the brake lever, now the mechanical brake is not working, it's just the cable slack, but the scooter knows that you are starting to brake and it gets into recovery mode, so it uses the motor to regain power. And if you keep pressing the brake, only then it's going to also start to brake mechanically. Very smart engineer that way, so you can get some of your energy back again into the battery. And now we are also testing for top speed. Keep in mind that I'm not using full accelerator from the app, but I'm doing already 37 kilometers per hour, going slightly uphill, so 36, 35, but this is going up, and I'm using about 80% of the power, so not the full power that the scooter can give me, not the full amps. So if we are going to repeat the test slightly downhill, let's see what happens now. I'm doing already 30, 32, 35, 37, 38, 37, it's stabilized there, and now we are going to start to go uphill a bit. 38 again, 38.5. So, and the braking, it's superb on this scooter, and it doesn't lock the wheel, but I think that it uses the motor in a mode that it actually puts power into the motor to prevent it from locking when you are using too much of the braking with the disc, something like that, because you can hear it that it wants to lock. The tire starts to squeal for a second, and then it simply stops squealing. It's just braking, squeals again, exactly like an ABS pulsing the brakes. I'm going to try that again. Yep, exactly. So you get maximum traction almost until the brake starts to lock. Of course, if you are very powerful and you have this brake very, very tight, and you put all the power into your level and you squeeze it like a Hulk, you are definitely probably going to lock the rear wheel. But that's fine. You can also use just the right lever here, so you get best of both worlds. You get front wheel drum braking, and on the rear you only get regenerative braking, so you get maximum regen on the rear wheel, no disc locking, and some mild braking from the front wheel without locking it up. Very nice. So I really like how it accelerates. The speed, the stability, and the braking are top on this scooter. Very, very good, very good. and you don't feel the front wheel that's when you are braking that is going to pull your handlebar, or you are simply going to feel that you are going to jump over the handlebar. It simply works as intended. It's perfectly adjusted from the factory. You don't have to do any kind of adjustment to it. Another thing that I like is the accelerator. It works very smooth and progressive, so you can go very slow and you can incrementally adjust the throttle very fine. The throttle is not jerky because there are some electric scooters that have either a big delay when you are accelerating, so it doesn't happen anything and then it starts to ramp up, or there are some scooters that have a huge dead zone when you are pressing the throttle and nothing happens. It's not the case here. The scooter will go right away and you can actually do something like a very relaxed ride and go easy without having the throttle skipping and jerking and making the scooter go a bit faster, slower, faster, slower, faster, and so on. This thing just works as intended, and it doesn't have a huge travel, but it has plenty of it. So when you want to give it a full throttle, you have a bit of rotation here, and that it's good because it gives you a good feeling when you want to adjust the speed of the scooter. And it doesn't have a very strong spring to fight with your finger, but it's not also too easy. It's just perfect. It gives you kind of a control feedback, the throttle over your hand when you are adjusting the throttle. The acceleration, because there is no throttle here. It's interesting, we call them throttle when you are not throttling anything. There's no throttle body. So really, really nice, steady, stable, controllable. And if you want to tackle something off-road, oh, that is interesting, goes nicely. The rear suspension is great. It's probably one of the finest rear suspensions that I have tested on scooters. It's super smooth, super nice. The front one also works nice, and there is one more interesting thing. I'm jumping on it and you are not hearing, yes, anything. This doesn't rattle, doesn't make any kind of squeaking noise, doesn't have those annoying rattle that you get on handlebar stamps and that annoying play. Nothing. This doesn't make. I'm jumping on it, I'm jumping with it, I'm lifting the wheels up. There is absolutely no noise coming from it, only the motor and the tires. I really enjoy that in a scooter. It brings you a relaxed ride. I hate riding on a scooter that makes extra noises on every single piece of cracked asphalt that you ride on. It's not happening here, and that makes it lovely. And let me show you something else. So I'm going to lift it up and drop it and drop it. There is no suspension noise, nothing. You only hear the brake levers, that's all. And same on the front. This is very, very sturdy. No weird noises, nothing. Even the kickstand works properly on this scooter. And now you have seen how the scooter performs, and you probably guessed most of my ideas about it and my thoughts about it. I'm going to cut short this part because this wonderful weather here, it's expecting that storm that is coming from that direction. So it's going to rain very soon. Nonetheless, I'm going to give you the traditional pros and cons, and the scooter has a lot of pros. The suspension works really nice, really nice. It doesn't make any kind of noises. It's very well built, it's very sturdy. There is no play in the steering stem, in the steering column, handlebar. Everything is very well fixed. No rattles, no play, nothing. Folding system mechanism is really nice. I love how they integrated everything. So you have turn signals with a beeper to remind you. You have a large dash screen here. You have mobile app with lots of extra function and fine adjustments such as the speed modes, the power modes, acceleration. You have triple braking system that works really nice. Both front, rear, ABS, all works as intended. You have very good lights. So it's kind of having everything in one scooter, but the price on this scooter is really nice. I'm going to leave you somewhere a link to the store where you can get it from the official KingSong Europe, and the price is very good for this and the performance that it offers you. As for the cons, there are only some notes here, not true cons. One is this all-in-one button. It's one single button here, which actually rotates with this, but when it's rotated, it's not working, it's not pushing because the button is actually here. So when you rotate it, you cannot click it anymore. You cannot click it in this position while you ride, so it makes logic to be here. But each time when you want to change the ride mode or to turn on the lamp, you actually need to release the throttle, the accelerator, change the setting, and then accelerate back. So it would maybe be interesting if it had a separate button somewhere to change the settings. It's just my opinion. It works really nice that way, and I like the fact that you have only one single button, not a lot more to forget what to press and when to press. Really nice. And the other thing is the screen. It's visible in daytime, it's okay, but I would have liked it to be a bit more brighter. On the camera, as I've told you, you are not going to see it. Now it's off, but even if I turn it on, with my eyes I can see it, but it's not super bright. But it's okay, it's readable. It would have been a bit better if it was more brighter in daytime. So beside that, I cannot find any other cons or neutrals or notes about it. Most of them are all positive. I like the rear mudguard, the extra bracket that holds it in place, the big front mudguard that doesn't rattle, the front suspension, how it is reinforced in this area to make the front shock absorber a lot more resistant. I like the front LED lamp with the cutoff beam that doesn't blind the oncoming traffic or pedestrians, and it's also super bright, so it's actually usable in nighttime without any additional other LEDs installed. The folding, I've mentioned it, is great. I like the deck. The deck is nice. It's wide enough so you can actually put both your feet one next to the other. I don't ride that way, but if you really want to do that, you can. So you can use it like that. It has a nice anti-slip rubber on it, silicone rubber, very soft, very nice, not slippery at all. So all in all, great product. Again, for the price they are asking for it, it's great. So that was it for now. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. Be sure also to follow my other ones here where I show you how to assemble this, to install it, and how to enable or disable the speed limit. And also I'm going to add more videos with this while riding and so on. Until then, see you and bye bye.